Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm so happy you guys showed up today. And I'm definitely going to give a few minutes for people to join in. But I'm really happy to talk to you guys because honestly, I wanted to tell you guys more about this topic for a while. Um, Today is going to be all about the truth about business. And I think you'll agree with me that from the outside, people like to make it seem really glamorous. But I'm going to tell you today, not to discourage you, but to give you a more realistic expectation about what you guys can expect when you actually start up a business. And most importantly, how to how to plan the right way so that you don't end up being super disappointed with whatever your expectations were. You know, it's it's actually even hard to talk to existing entrepreneurs because to be quite honest, I think that people are self-conscious. We attach, especially if you're an ambitious person, which most entrepreneurs are, we attach a lot of our self-worth to our business success. So ask any entrepreneur, hey, so how's your business doing? And 9 out of 10 times, they're going to tell you that they're doing really well when that's not true. So I would say like 1 out of 5 entrepreneurs is doing really well, and the other 4 are just BSing you. All right. And how do I know this? Is because I'm a business coach. So I see these people online and they're all like, whoa, life is so good. I've got all these amazing deals going. I'm busy. I've got no openings. And then they come to me and they tell me a whole different story. All right. So, and I'm not doing this to call out anyone. I'm doing this to set realistic expectations for you because there's a lot of FOMO out there and there's a lot of BSing. And that's just a fact. I think some of it's just human nature. People think like um, you're not going to attract good people unless you appear really successful. So I can't really disagree with that. I mean, people want to work with successful people, but the reality is a lot of people, when they start their business, don't realize just how much it's going to take to get to that success. And that's what I'm trying to set straight today. So I decided to do this video to tell you the truth about business success. And hopefully this will help you so that you don't walk away thinking that everyone is just, overnight successes left and right, and that things are just going to be really super, super easy for you. I wish it were, but it's not the truth. That's just not how it works. All right. Um, so, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you 5 questions that you need to ask yourself if you want to be successful in your business. And the earlier you ask these questions and reflect on these questions, the better for you. But obviously, there is no such thing as it's too late because it's never really too late. Okay. There's always going to be a new opportunity. But the main thing is, please don't skip it because obviously everyone wants to get to the same destination. And there's many, many ways to get to that destination. But there's also a lot of misconception, which we're going to go into today. And yeah, so save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of stress by listening to what I'm going to tell you today. And hopefully this can be really helpful for you. Okay. Oh, and I do want to say that I have a worksheet for you because I think that this bet is best done live. I think you should actually preferably print out these questions and fill them out. And I wouldn't do this in a rush. I would do this when you've got a lot of time to think about it. And also, as you're going to see, I don't think you need to do this alone. I think you can do this with some significant people in your life, because building a business is going to affect everybody close to you, right? It's going to take up a lot of your time. It's going to take up some of your money. It's definitely going to take up your energy. So whoever could be affected by that, depending on what's up in your life, they're gonna wanna be involved in this decision and understanding what they should expect from you. And unless you've run a business before, you might not know yourself, right? Uh, so let me just really quick check if I see any comments here. Um, yeah. So hey everyone who's joining in. Um, so seriously, guys, it's a big decision to start a business, and it can be the funnest thing in the world. It can be the most rewarding thing you've ever done. But don't ever for 1 second think that it's going to be easy, quick, or simple, right? And anyone who tells you it is, there's a lot more backstory than what it really was. Earlier today, I listened to a podcast about someone who the title of the podcast was about making $3 million in revenue in 18 months. And that sounds very impressive, right? So you're like, whoa, I better listen to that podcast. And on the podcast, she explains that it took her 10 years before she got to that point. And she also explains that she invested $500,000 in running ads, in addition to paying her own salary and having a team of people who she paid to get to the 3 million. So it wasn't 3 million profit. It was 3 million revenue minus, 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 right? So still, I think it's pretty impressive, even after all her business costs are deducted. But when people who don't understand that read it, they're going to get the wrong impression. Um, so, today the questions I'm going to ask you are going to tie back into that. And I actually said that these are business deal breakers because I don't think everyone is cut out for entrepreneurship. And I've written an article about that where I ask you the question, these are the criteria that you need to become an entrepreneur. And I truly believe that that's okay. I don't think everybody has to be an entrepreneur. I mean, wouldn't it be boring if everyone was an entrepreneur? I think it would. So personally, I'm more interested in really finding people who are going to thrive as entrepreneurs, because believe me, if you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be pretty painful. And and you'll know pretty quickly. You'll know pretty quickly that this is not working. All right. Okay. So let me dive into what I want to tell you today. So, and like I said, I do have a worksheet for you guys that I'm going to be posting here in the comments, so that you can ask these questions to yourself, and maybe with a partner too, if you're with somebody. It's important to check with them as well. So we're going to talk about 5 what I call deal breakers to start your business. All right. And these are things that you need to consider when you're starting your business. So that's why I call them deal breakers, because if they don't work out, then you'll probably not want to start a business. You'll want to decide that there's much more valuable things that you can do with your life, and that is 100% okay. No one said that you should be an entrepreneur. I know a lot of people who are not entrepreneurs and who are doing fabulous. Okay. So please, please, please don't ever think for 1 second that being an entrepreneur is glamorous, or it's the only way to be successful, or even the only way to get rich. There's tons of people who became executives or employees who are rich. So please don't think that's the only way. All right. But if you're considering building a business or you've already started a business, these are the questions that I want you to ask yourself so that you can move forward in the best way possible. Okay. So, sorry, guys. I'm still sick. I've been sick for like over a week, and now it's snowing, so it's not helping. All right. So I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. The first question is time. All right. Is this business something that you're willing to put your time into? Now, before you say yes right away, let's be really honest. You can always find a way to succeed, no matter what. But you're going to have to find the time to do this. So realistically, where are you going to find that time? And this is a serious question because I think some people, they think the opposite. They think that when you start a business, you're your own boss now, so you can kind of pick your time, and that may give you the wrong impression. It may give you the impression that you don't really need to plan out the time, or that you can just, do it whenever you want, and that's not true. It's going to take actual time. So, believe it or not, I see a lot of new entrepreneurs struggling with something that's kind of stupid, which is scheduling. They're just trying to figure out when they can actually put time into their business. Okay? And that may sound really like basic, but it's true. So, ideally people think, "Oh, I'm just going to quit my day job and immediately I'm going to be rich. Within a few months I'm going to have all this money." That's not true. So, you're going to have to think about, what are you going to do when you haven't quit your day job yet, How are you going to build your business? When I first started my business, I was doing it on my lunch hour. I was making phone calls, and if I had to go meet with someone, I actually had to call in sick because, I'm like, "Yay, we got a meeting." And I would have to do everything to come up with some excuse, like I have a doctor's appointment, to go meet with clients. And so I don't advise you doing this, but I do want to make it really clear that you'll have to find time in your schedule to build this business, and you probably won't be able to quit your job because in the beginning, you don't know yet if it's going to work out, if you're going to have money or not. So, how long is it going to take? Well, that's a great question. I always recommend to people to plan in 1 year. And if you're in a job that you hate and you were hoping to quit, I get it. That sucks to hear that. And I'm not saying that it has to be 1 year, it could happen earlier. But I want you to plan that you may have to have some kind of job for 1 year before you start making money. What are your alternatives? I mean, if you're unemployed right now, you just got laid off, and you're thinking about entrepreneurship, then do your finances. And most importantly, talk to your spouse, your significant other, because obviously, if you're not going to be making money for potentially up to 1 year, you have to think how you're going to live. What are you going to do for money? So that's super, super important. And so that's the first question that you want to be asking yourself, right? Also, when are you going to do this? Like I said, I was doing this on my lunch hour. So think about that. And in my worksheet that I'm going to give you now, this is a big question in there, because you're going to have to figure out when you can do this, and how many times per week, and what number of hours. And it might not be straightforward. You might actually not have much time to be able to do this in the beginning. You might be struggling to find the time to do this, and that's normal. All right. Okay, so the second question, because I have 5 questions to ask you, is this business something you're willing and able to put a lot of effort into? So what is effort? It's ironic, but sometimes I see business owners or wannabe business owners who think that they're going to be living some kind of glamorous life where, they wake up, they don't have to rush off to work, they don't have to commute, so they're just going to work out, make their coffee, and somehow during the day they're going to get their business done, right? And that's really not true, right? It takes a lot more effort. And so are you a hard worker? Are you willing to give a lot of effort towards this business? And that's one of the main criteria, is to be really passionate about what you do. Because if you're not really into this business, you're really not going to be that motivated to give the effort that you need to give to grow it. So it all ties in together. So number 3 is sacrifice. Do you believe in this business so much that you're willing to give up things for it? Now, what does that mean? Just go and ask any successful person what they had to sacrifice to succeed. Some of their stories are very, very extreme. I remember reading about Jim Carrey living in a van, completely broke with his family members, and going gig to gig trying to land an acting job, being completely broke. I remember reading about Elon Musk sleeping under his desk because he was so dedicated to making his company succeed. So I'm not saying you guys have to sleep in a van or sleep under your desk, but please consider that if you're thinking about starting a business, what are the potential sacrifices, especially financial and time-wise? Because in the first year, if you have to think, I might have to continue working a job I don't like to pay the bills, plus find time to grow the business, it means probably sacrificing a lot of your personal time, and also your partner might not be seeing you a lot. And when they do see you, you might be really exhausted. So that's a sacrifice, right? You might have to sacrifice vacations. You might have to sacrifice buying new things because all your money is tied up. You don't have enough money. Everything's going towards your business, or there isn't any money coming in. So, those are big sacrifices to be considered. And, Gary Vee, I heard him on stage talking to a large crowd of people, talking about going back home to live with your parents in order to build your business, just to save money. So there you go. There could be some major sacrifices depending. All right. And then number 4 is failure. And this is a big one, because if you are ambitious, especially if you have a big ego, right? Or you're a perfectionist, failure hurts. And building a business is full of failure. So, of course, business owners, entrepreneurs, they don't really like to talk about that part a lot. So they usually talk about it, kind of glaze it over and combine it with a success story. Yeah, in the beginning, I struggled a lot. I didn't have any success, and then I made it. And we focus on the second part of the story. We focus on, and then they made it. But we just jump past all the unglamorous struggle. Well, the question is, are you going to be willing and able to handle that part of the story? Because that's actually a bigger part than they make it out, right? So just because everything ends well doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, quick. No. So, and a lot of people have problems handling failure. As a business coach, I deal with people all the time who are just they think that they launch something and it doesn't work out, immediately means that it's not going to work, that they should give up. And just look at entrepreneurs, any successful entrepreneur, look at their story a little bit closer and you'll see how much they failed before they succeeded. All right. So you're going to have to do a lot of mindset work on yourself. You're going to have criticism, frustration, people maybe even telling you off, rejection everywhere, crickets. You're going to be like, I did all that and no one bought. There's going to be tons of that. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to handle that or not? Because success stories only happen through failure. There's no way, I'm really sorry to say this, but there's no way to just skip over that part and go directly towards, oh yeah, I launched my business and immediately I had all this success. Some people make it look that way, but it's not true. It really does not happen. All right. So I'm here to tell you a realistic part. I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm trying to get you prepared so that when you do fail, you know that this is part of the journey. All right. And number 5, the last one, we're on the last one, guys, is money. So one of the first questions I ask people when they talk to me about business coaching is, how are you going to pay for your bills? And me too. If you hire me, how are you going to pay for me? Because I need to know, what's your financial plan for living up to 12 months while you build your business. So are you going to continue your full-time job? Are you going to get a consulting gig, a 40-hour consulting gig? Are you going to, you need to have some bread and butter clients at the very least. That's my toddler. So you have to have that plan. You cannot go into business, my friends, thinking, oh, in 3 months, I'm going to have tons of clients. I'm going to hit the goals that I'm looking for. I'm going to make up my old income. The only time that's possible is if you secure clients before you quit your job. So if you tell me, I've been doing sales for the past 3 to 6 months, and I have lined up signed contracts, not people who tell you, oh, I'll love to hire you when you're on your own, let me know. That can be a very dangerous road, my friends. I'm talking about people who signed a contract. And then you look at your finances and you say, these people are locked into contracts. I think I can quit. And even then, I would be very cautious about quitting. But my point being is, you need to figure out your financial plan, and it will take longer than you think. So that's why I'm saying plan for 12 months. If it happens in 3 months or 6 months, you're good. But please be realistic. And I have seen people where it takes longer. So there's people where it takes 2 to 3 years of really struggling before they actually can replace their income, feel confident that they have a good pipeline. So, a lot depends on your career before you leave your company, what you've got lined up. And there are definitely a lot of things that you can do to have that happen quicker, which is why you hire a business coach, by the way. And I'm not doing advertising for myself. I'm just telling you, besides a business coach, there's other people you can hire, but definitely you need to plan a little bit of time, money, and strategy to make this happen. And another thing is, like I mentioned earlier, is to talk to your significant other, because you might have to cut back from your lifestyle. So if you're really, really committed to growing your business, the solution might be to live on less money. So you might leave a full-time job, take a part-time job or some kind of consulting job, and significantly cut your living expenses. Now, this won't be for everybody. If you've got a mortgage, you've got kids, it's going to be really hard to cut your expenses. But if you don't have those things, that's a really smart decision. It's a smart decision that while you're building your business, think about, How can I scale back? Maybe you will go back and live with your parents. Maybe you will, downsize and get rid of your car or anything significant that could be taking up a lot of your money. And that's another reason to think about your ego, because starting a business is definitely going to take your ego down a notch. You're going to be humble. You're going to have less disposable income. You're going to hear no a lot. Talk about rejection really does hit you in the heart and make you understand that no, things aren't as easy as they look. The people who are killing it make it look easy, but there is a lot of hard work that went into that simplicity. So with all that in mind, we covered the 5 things that you need to pay attention to if you're starting a business or you're considering starting a business that could be deal breakers. And I've prepared a worksheet because I really would like you to print it out, fill it out, and reflect on it and be ready. Because I think that whether you already started a business or you're just thinking about starting a business, if you go through those 5 questions openly, honestly, and fully committed, you're going to succeed a lot better, a lot quicker, and just have a better, smoother experience than people who don't. All right. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of people who jump before they look, right? So if you're interested in getting that worksheet, I'm going to give it to you. Hold on. Let me have it a quick minute. And I'll get you this worksheet here and I'll paste it here in the comments so that you can fill out this worksheet, because I do believe that being very intentional about what you're willing to do and what you're not is going to be half the battle. And remember, if you are in a partnership or you do have dependents, then this doesn't just concern you, it concerns them as well. So I would hate for you to have a stressful situation for your family. And that's why you should definitely consider all these things before you get too far ahead in your business. All right. So here is the link. Let me put this into the chat. And I'm going to put this up on the screen. So if you're thinking about starting a business, go to that link, kristamaleone.com/5 questions. Download that worksheet and fill it out, because you're going to see that when you start a business, a lot of it is mindset. What will make or break you is your mindset. 100%. It's not your talent. It's not being at the market on the right place, right time. It's really because you're so committed to making it work that you're willing to sacrifice. You're ready to make all these decisions. And that's what's going to really put you ahead of everybody else. Don't be afraid of the person who's got the most strength or the most talent. Be afraid of the person who is not willing to give up. All right. Because every successful athlete, musician, actor, CEO, they all were not better than everyone else. They just worked harder. They worked harder with more dedication and, most importantly, psychologically. That's what really makes the difference in winning in life. So go ahead and fill out that worksheet and reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope these deal breakers were helpful for you and that you have a lot of success, whether you decide to pursue growing a business or instead you say, you know what, after considering all this, this may not be the right thing for me. And that is fully okay. I mean, come on. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of ways to become rich. So if you're thinking about this in terms of money, please don't. Please think that there's a lot of roads that lead towards success. We've got a question. So Gabe asked, So, how can you shape your mindset to match your willingness as you venture? That's a really, really good question. Um, you do it by regularly tapping in to your subconscious because your subconscious is controlling 90% of your mind. And what controls your mind leads to action or inaction because your mind could be full of fear, anxiety, self doubt, negativity, and boycotting behaviors. So your subconscious might be feeding you the wrong narrative. It might be telling you, who are you to be better than everyone else? Maybe you have no entrepreneurs in your family. Maybe you come from a humble background. Maybe you're an immigrant. There's all these like limiting beliefs that people carry around, labels, stereotypes. Um, and the truth is that this is all mind games. Who you were yesterday, your past, even your heritage does not define your future. But subconsciously, your DNA, your upbringing, your culture, your conditioning can work against you. And this is why we see sometimes multi-generational failure. Yes, of course, maybe the conditions were bad. I'm not going to doubt that, but a lot of it was the mindset. We have put it into our heads that this is just how it is, you know, and this is what holds us back. I'm not going to lie to you that it's so much a mind game. So, this question is really good because if you can get into your subconscious, you can erase those doubts and you can replace them with a new story. And the new story happens with daily mantras, daily positivity, self-talk, meditation, and most importantly, guys, you are what you put into yourself. And that includes who you surround yourself with, what you read, what you listen to, what you watch. So everything that you watch, read, listen to, or the people you surround yourself with are all influencing your subconscious. So think about that and now do a detox, do a cleanse, and say, I'm going to get away from people who are living in limiting conditions. I'm going to start surrounding myself with people who are leveling up, people who are ambitious, people who are fearless, courageous. Fear is a huge component in success. It's a deal breaker. So the more you fear something, the more you retract from taking action, or you even do something even worse, which is you boycott yourself. Inaction is a form of boycotting. All right. So think about that. I know that's a very long answer. Dimitri says self-limiting beliefs set us back. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really worse than that. I would say that most people in life are not reaching their full potential, not because of lack of desire. We all have the same levels of desire. It's not because somebody wants it more than you do. It's because between two people who have the same level of desire, one person has figured out how to get over their fear and replace it with courage. And the other person can't. They keep falling back into those self-limiting beliefs, that negative talk, and they keep tricking themselves that somehow that's okay when it's not. And I'm not talking just about entrepreneurship, my friends. Like I said, entrepreneurship may or may not be the real path for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about in general in life. You deserve the highest level of love. You deserve the highest level of health. You deserve the highest level of success, whatever that looks like in your life. You deserve great friendships and relationships and recognition and respect and legacy in your life. And people live in this subconscious fear of, well, if I dare to do that, I might fail, or even worse than that, I'm not really cut out for that. I'm not good enough. All right. And it comes from such a deep rooted subconscious part that you don't even hear that voice until you start consciously daily doing something to stop that. And you have to replace it with all this amazing stuff, and that's the secret. The secret is really to get deep into your mindset. All right. And I've got some more resources here. So if you guys are interested in starting a business, that's my thing. And asking yourself those questions, so definitely go in and get my worksheet, the 5 questions, and start trying to think about, is that something for me or not? And if it is, you're going to have to be prepared. Just like you would prepare for anything. If you're going on a big trip, imagine that you're planning this really big trip and you're like, well, I didn't pack, or I didn't bring the right things with me, or maybe you didn't even buy the ticket. You just showed up and thought there would be a spot for you in the airplane, and there's not, right? So a lot of people start businesses in a really naive way. And by the way, a lot of people live their lives in a very naive way with their career. They just think, passively, somehow opportunities are going to come to them, and they're waiting for something. You cannot wait in life in all aspects. If you want a good relationship, you want health, you want a great job, you want to build a business, whatever it is you guys want right now, you're going to have to go get it. And to get it, you're going to have to overcome your fear. And you're going to have to be willing to fail. You're going to have to be willing to humble yourself to the point where your ego can take a hit and you can accept that you're not the best in the room and that you're going to have to be rejected. You're going to have to struggle. All right. And yes, you may have to admit, oh my goodness, to the people around you that you're not in the best financial place. No, you're not rich overnight. No. And that's okay. And that's how it should be, because nothing great happened in life without earning it. Luck is a myth. All right. I believe in karma. I believe in energy, and I believe in law of attraction, but I don't believe in luck. I believe that you create your own luck. All right. So I hope this was helpful. And I hope you guys, whatever you guys decide to do in your life, that you do it fully and intentionally and fearlessly. All right. Be courageous, and then you will never lose. Take care. And if you like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I go live every Friday. And I talk about entrepreneurship, marketing, and mindset. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great weekend. See you guys next week.